Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
I say, nah, man. Wood. Yo, this is the Dan Man Lindy telling you to be COVID-19 safe. Stay home. That way we could play a mass sooner rather than later. Everything will come to pass. You know the thing go. Mass must play. How you mean?
Bless me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer. Come on, let's conquer. Oh, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chain. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David told Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people to go meet it up, pass me the Congo drum and let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it up. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer. Rise up and conquer them. Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You're everything, Father. Thank you. Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to feel. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of lies. Send down your warriors with the hello. They carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil try trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this storm is coming. I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could it be that we decide? No weapon that form against I shall not prevail. No man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer. Rise up and conquer them. I am a man, I am a champion, I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada, A very special good morning to those of you joining us on 97.5 City Sound FM, 89.5 CRFM, 92.9 Sister Isle Radio broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and of course 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the live video, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on YouTube, wherever it is, Instagram, wherever you may be sitting in the comfort of your own home. A very special good morning to you. I must give a big shout out to my boys on the Carriacou this morning who called me and gave me, some words of encouragement. Good morning to you. A very special good morning to you. Good morning to you, Delma on the live video. Good morning to you, Natalia. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Just good morning to everybody. It is a beautiful day. I woke up in a very good mood this morning. The sun was shining. I had the breath of life. What else is there to be happy about but that? So we got to be grateful for that. While there are a lot of people around the world struggling still with the onset of COVID-19, we are here powering through. We are making it, and we have to be grateful for that. We have a little bit more freedom now, easement of some of the restrictions, and we are grateful for that. We continue to be grateful for that. Of course, we know we have to take it easy, not because we've been given the opportunity means that we're going to just heave in and take advantage, but we have to definitely be mindful of what we've been through, what is possible for us to go through, and what we can do to prevent us from going through that. These are the things that you need to keep in your mind when you venture out every single day. Good morning, Rennie. Good morning, Landon. Good morning, you guys. It's always a pleasure looking at you guys tuning in and listening. This morning we have an open line, guys. I'm going to open the lines very early this morning for us to have a conversation. I haven't heard from you guys in a long time. I've had a lot of interviews. I've done a lot of talking. There has been a lot of information that has been given. I want to hear from you, right? The number to call is 440-7377 for local calls, 440-7377 if you're on the WhatsApp and you want to send me a quick message, or if you have a quick question that you want to get out there. And of course, 347-329-3101 for all of my people in the diaspora that want to call, want to contribute, want to send greetings. Of course, I know that a few people have been contributing to the Kidney Foundation. Thank you. It means so much to the patients, even the little that you have, Miss Cami. Thank you. Thank you. Even the little that you have and you're willing to contribute, it means so much and you will be blessed for it. Remember that. All right. So thank you guys so much. I know we've made an appeal here for people to try as much as possible to donate to the Kidney Foundations to help IHS with that's Island Health Services, with the treatment of the kidney patients. So please, whatever little it may be, try your best to donate. And of course, we have given some advice here on the program to the Kidney Foundation that maybe since most of our restaurants and food outlets are not as open as they used to be and don't have as much traffic as they are accustomed to, that maybe you can reposition your donation boxes to supermarkets and gas stations so that people have access to those boxes so they can donate. All right, we have our first caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning to Miss Duncan. This is Miss Cami.
Good morning, Miss Cami. How are you?
Listening. Good morning to Grenada W.I. And also to my friends in Canada, Scotty and Matthew and all you tuning, listening. Mr. Watts in New York, Jeffodine, and his brother in Canada, and all the Grenadians out there. You all take care of yourselves to safe. Miss Duncan, it's very beautiful this morning in Thomas and John Shining. I'm so right now, but I'm there in it.
Uh-huh.
I want to find out, if there is anything in place give the agreement to supply the public with a road transportation. You know, because there's a lot of us that go have private vehicle, and then we have to come to get medication. We have to come and do a business. You know, we have some people, they want to go and stay right for themselves. Last week, they already give a man $200 and something to help her pay a bill, and he didn't pay the money.
Oh, no.
You understand? And it's an old lady, and she was explaining to us because she didn't even know the guy. So I don't know if they put anything in place yet. So if there's listening, it's not even if they could take the buses, could take about 10 people.
Right.
You know, or 2 in a row, and we pay $5 because, I mean, it's really hard. We understand what is going on with the virus, but at least the public needs transportation to assist us with little things we have to do. You understand?
Yeah.
There's not everybody who want to do it right now. Grenadians get funny. Some get good and some get worse.
Yeah.
Because the vehicle is a babagwan right now. You know, I don't try to disrespect nobody, but people that know you, they see you in the sun walking and they pass straight. I mean, I will not leave my home, Miss Duncan, and come into a line. You understand?
Yeah.
And it is very hard for a lot of us to adjust ourselves now with this quarantine. You have to have a strong mind because you will get sick.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand that your body program sometimes to just get up and move. You know? It's not everybody that could cope with this staying in all day and all night. You need a little freedom. You need to go and do your business. Not to come and hang out like some people just come and hang out. There's people that have their business to do. And the next thing, how long we going to sit with the COVID virus that going on and we go just day? There must come a time that we have to let go and let God of his way. We as people should know 6 feet. We have to know to take care of ourselves. We must go out there.
Yeah.
They have to do something. I appreciate what the government is doing, but they have to let people out there to get a little work, to do the little job. It's not everybody that have.
Yeah.
And the government cannot give everybody some food stuff. They have a family too. You cannot call to your minister every day and complain. They have their family too. They have the thing to take care of. Everybody losing. You have people that is suffering. There's a lot of people that is suffering, and some of us don't understand. Miss Duncan, there is people that have a paycheck to collect. What about some people that don't have a paycheck? What about some people that are going to sell a bucket of cashew this morning? And they want to come in the tunnel and just to get rid of it, and then to go in our house and pay $20 on the water. So the people in charge, I respect your decision on the making, but think of the people that are really in need. We cannot all the time depend on our friends to stretch hand for us, because our friends have the responsibility to. Have a nice day, Grenada, Mr. Watt, Zingo, Patty, Matthew, and all my friends, Beppo, and everybody in America, England, Canada, who is listening to my voice. You all stay safe. Also to my children, you all stay safe. And Miss Camille, I'm trying to do the right thing. And I'm out there suffering, struggling, but I would love to see we get a little transportation. Even if it's 2 buses and they take 6 people, we pay $10, we come and do our business, and then we go back home. Have a good day, Miss Duncan, and continue doing the good work, okay?
All right, Miss Cammy, you too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Miss Cammy, that's a very, very good point. I know that in recent times, after the announcement of further easement in movement, the Prime Minister would have made mention of strategies that were being developed for public transportation to become available. Now, one of the things that we do have to consider, and I'll be very frank in saying this, we cannot trust ourselves sometimes. Everyone cannot be trusted to do the right thing all of the time. And that is why I firmly believe in the theory of saving people from themselves. Now, I agree that public transportation is a necessity, yes, because we are going into a process of opening more businesses to pump some life back into the economy. However, and I say this, respect to all of the busmen, this may not apply to all of you, but some of you cannot be trusted to follow the protocols. And I'm not saying this out of guesswork. We have seen it happening. We all know the famous parody, Bendong, Bendong. All right. That is clear identification that sometimes people cannot be trusted to follow the protocols. So even if government decides we are going to allow for public transportation to become available to our citizens to maneuver through and so on, are we really going to be honest with ourselves and say 5 persons to a bus, 5 people to a bus, 6 people to a bus? Are the bus owners really going to adhere to that? And are people in the need to move from one place to a next quickly, are they going to adhere to that? That is an important question, because that is what is going to determine whether introducing buses and public transportation back into circulation, if it will be successful. That is what will determine it. So we must make a decision. We must decide that we are ready to follow the protocols, that we will adhere to the physical distancing rules, that we would sit 6 feet apart, that we would stand 6 feet apart, that we will not congregate unnecessarily. That has proven to fail in some cases, even now with the limited state of emergency still in effect. Are we really going to adhere? That is the important question. We have a caller on the line. We'll take the overseas call first, and then we'll move to the local call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sister Kwame. Good morning, and glad to hear your voice. And guess you're in good health, and all everybody in office, Sheldon, and all the rest of the boys, Naziman, and others. Sister Kwame, what I'm listening to, I listened to the Prime Minister on Sunday, but one thing I did not agree with, I could be wrong, because I tried to follow the data all over the world. And public transportation, once you open up, you must have public transportation. It is a must. You can't do it after. You have to do it. Once you ask the people to come out to work, you need public transport. I heard Mr. Boeing this morning and one of the stations say maybe in 2 weeks' time. No, public transportation have to be there at the same time you open up. You say, okay, you make sure your mask is on. You could allow 2 people in each row. One on this end, one on this. They're not speaking. Only when they decide to come off the bus, they say, drop me. I have no big conversation with nobody. No, the time changed for that. The windows always open because we live in a hot climate. That's why the virus does not spread. As here in Montreal.
Well, caller, I would not agree with that to be said in public. That is your personal opinion, but I would not agree to that being said openly, because we have no scientific proof of that. But continue.
Well, no, we don't have scientific proof, but because we don't have scientific proof, that can say it is wrong.
Yeah, but in that is exactly
why. If we're talking about scientific proof, they say face mask. Let me give you one instance. Right here in Montreal, the people say wear face mask. The government saying we have no scientific proof for that and this and that. But we know. We grew up with the grandparents. We know it's better to be safe than sorry. So that's why everyone should be wearing a face mask. It's just a pity that the world take too long to recognize that. You understand me? We are no scientists about wearing face masks. But don't you think it's the right thing is to wear a face mask?
Well, actually, the science has proven that it lessens the rate of infection or transmission. But what I'm saying to you, caller, is that on open air, when you are speaking on a platform where hundreds and maybe thousands of people are listening to you, I will not agree that we make a open statement like that it cannot be transmitted because of the hot climate. And I think that's why a lot of us are...
No. What I'm saying is not to say, maybe I phrase it wrong. It's not to say that it cannot, but it's less damaging. If you come to Montreal, I can tell you, sister, nurses is running from the homes. You know why? The people who sick, the elderly, they didn't travel, but it's the people who comes into the homes, who brings this thing for these people. That's why over 80% of it is in the homes.
Okay.
Not on the street.
Okay.
Not on the street, and not the people who traveling on the bus or on the metro. Not the bus drivers. You know, I'm only giving you a little tip what's going on out here. The weather is different. The weather is colder here. You know?
Okay,
just
Colin.
go back to, just think of one thing, Sister Duncan. Look at China. In the place where you had 12 million people, about 2 days ago, they end up with six cases they have. A place had 12 million people. You understand? So what they have done that could make that, you know, that virus just vanish away.
Well, it didn't vanish away. It wreaked a lot of havoc on China before they actually got it under control. And the way that they got it under control was to restrict the movement of people. And as you rightfully said, the people in the homes that have contracted the virus, it's people that's bringing it to them. So it means that as long as there is movement of people, then the chances of the virus being spread is greater. You know, so that is, I think that is one of the things that government is considering before the reintroduction of public transportation. They must agree and they must be sure that they are able to manage the physical distancing rules, because you have to save people from themselves.
Okay, so how the economy going to rebound if we decide now, let me say 2 weeks from now, we decide the public transport is not the right thing to do. So then how are we going to continue to open up the country?
And this is
how people are going to travel?
Well, caller, this is the reason why they are sitting very carefully now and looking at schools of thought and methods and policies that will ensure that when it is reintroduced, that it is done properly. See, you don't want to just jump into something quickly and then after you have to pull it off the shelf and say, well, we probably were too hasty. I agree that they should take time and that they should do it.
I understand what you're trying to say. But Sister Duncan, something you have to take a chance some way or the other to know if it works or not. You can't just say, if we don't try it, how are you going to work? People have to go to work, but no public transport. How are they going to reach from point A to point B? All these things have to take into consideration first. How are we going to get people to work? All that had to be discussed at the same time. Yes, we want to open up construction, we want to open up this, but how the people are going to get to work? Not everybody have a vehicle. Sometimes a person might be living in Sotes, one in Grenville, Guave, different area, have to work on go to the same area to work. Now you're asking the people in charge, you know, so send a vehicle in Guave, send one in Sotes, tell one pass from Grenville. So that's too complicated.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Give them a chance.
Thank you so much for your contribution, caller.
Yeah, okay then.
All right.
Thank you.
I understand the frustration in a lot of people in deciding how they're going to get to work with the opening of more businesses and so on. However, I want to stress the point that it makes absolutely no sense for us to rush into this thing. And at the end of the day, we have to shut everything down and start from square one all over again. I want people to take that into consideration. I want people to also take into consideration that these are not normal times and that creativity must be used. I know some construction workers want to get to work. Maybe you can find in your area a pool of people that go in down to St. George. Maybe your contractor can arrange and organize transportation for you to get from St. George to Guava or wherever it is that your construction has to take place. But what I do not agree with is just reintroducing. Listen, we barely have public transportation running at this point, and the level of movement, the amount of people, the long lines that we are still experiencing. Just imagine if we were to say buses running, what would happen? Just think about it. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, morning.
How are everything?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm okay for time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Miss Duncan. Miss Duncan, I do believe in going through the right procedure in dealing with situation. Okay? Like if I rent a house from you, and the first day I enter that home, and I see a problem,
Mm-hmm.
the person who are supposed to complain to is who I rented from. And if I refuse to complain to you, and I go and complain to somebody else, right? What is my motive? My motive is to give people that a bad impression about you, right? So I want to say, you see, people have to be careful what you listen to, and when you listen to people who spread the negative things and try to pull on and to destroy people, automatically what will happen is people who listen to negative things is to try to bring down people. So I want to say, the situation that happened there with the Grenada workers on the ship, we got a government show care, attention, and love for its people. Because when you look at this government is a government that care and love its people. And they were saying, in the God said that cast all this is sober, say cast all your burden upon him, because he's able to carry it. Government cannot supply all our needs because they don't have the means. No country could supply all people need. So what they were saying again also, it's better to teach them how to fish so that they could go out fish and hold fish for his family, and he could even sell to get income. Then you give him a fish every day. So government is making the environment right for people to self-employ themselves, open small business. So that the government has shows cares and love for one another. So you see, many times we have to be careful. When we see something, not every time we complain. But if yes, you could complain, but who you complaining to? Complaining to the wrong source, we will not get a problem solved. You go to the right source, which is the person you rent from, and let the person know what it is you're not happy in the environment. And problem will solve. But when you take it and bring it outside it in the public, there is no intention, you have no good intention of trying to solve the problem. What you're trying to do is to say negative things, to say negative things about the person you're renting from. So I ask people, you have a problem, go to the source and try to fix the problem, solve the problem. So but see, when people now listen to people who don't want to solve problem but make chaos, they always we want to continue on that trend. But I say, when you see that wrong, I believe it's something also again, you have a problem, see the wrong table, and work it out with the person who is supposed to work it out with, and take it and go in outside there and try to discredit people and bring shame upon people. So, Ms. Duncan, I will want to put a God bless you.
You too. Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. I don't feel like I want to rehash or speak again on that issue with the seafarers. I feel like it has been sufficiently spoken on. The only thing I would like to see, I'm still waiting on, and that I will advocate for, is a thank you. I still want to see it. It's still necessary. It still matters that you say thank you. And that's all I'm going to say, because I feel like the issue has been hashed, rehashed, overhashed, and I don't really want to speak much on it. But in everything, gratitude must come first. We may not always get things the way we want it to be, but we must be grateful for the small mercies, because we never know what sacrifice someone has made to provide us with what we consider substandard. It may be a big deal for them. You know, it may be a big sacrifice for them. A lot of care and consideration may have been put into what they are able to offer. And we must always take that into consideration. You know, in everything that we do, gratitude must come first. I'm not saying that you must agree and accept substandard things, but at the same time, gratitude must come first. Hello, good morning.
Yes, Miss Duncan, I call back. Just something short.
Yeah.
You said that we must have gratitude. This is something that I believe in. That if somebody give you some water when you were thirsty, it's good to say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And I had said that yesterday, that people is ungrateful. A lot of us is ungrateful. We don't remember kindness.
Yeah.
Because at least, Miss Duncan, I might be wrong. Some people will agree with me, some will not. If the government of Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, they close the aid for these people that was on the ship and say they don't want nobody, they're helping nobody now, what will have become of them? They did what they had to do, they bring you in. You grow up in Grenada, is a culture, you know about fly, you know about dust, you still get a place, and they put you, from the minute time you land your foot on the soil, you said, thank you, Grenada, thank you for those who help us. No, you pour something, watch the sandwich and the dust as if you don't know about dust. I look at the BBC News, and CNN News, and Sky News, and Fox News, with Americans, Italians, all people all over the world, they die on the ship, tourist boat. So that is to tell you how ungrateful some of we are. And when I talk about it, a man call and say we're homeless. You understand? We're not grateful to say thanks. Thanks, that is all.
Mm-hmm.
Say thank you. Look at the man yesterday, the Carriacou. When I watched the news, he said thank you. And he's one of them. He said thank you. You know?
Yeah.
So that is something that they have to install in them. When somebody do something for you, you say thanks.
Yeah.
Instead of that, they're saying, some of them, you're there with somebody all the years, Miss Duncan, all the years you're there with these people. No, you know there is a dictator. No, you know they're wicked. No, you know they're evil. Why, when you was with them, sitting down and eat and drink, sitting down and meeting, you don't tell the person in the face, man, you're a dictator. Why you didn't say it when you're on the platform? Why you didn't tell them they're wicked and they're bad? No. That is why you see, as a speaker, that's what I have to say. No, you know, people is dictator. No, you know they're wicked. No, you want all the best for Grenada. You see the hypocrisy? No, you see the hypocrisy. I didn't go in a UE. I didn't go in no university. But I ain't stupid, the man say, I a crazy human. I ain't mad. I ain't crazy. Common sense make people vote. If I had to tell the Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, you're doing something I don't like it, I'm telling him. He have to know. It's not everything, you know. You have to let them know when they're going wrong. That ain't say against them.
Yeah.
That ain't say I'm mad with them if they make a decision. But I talk about when I see things is not right. I speak about it.
Yeah.
They're ungrateful, Grenadians, some of us. A lot of us is ungrateful. They could have done the ship still, you know. No, you make it hard for the others that have to come in now. The government could say they don't have no money now. You understand?
Yeah.
You have people that will agree with me and some will not agree because they take this thing politics. They're playing politics right now with the COVID-19. Where all of us are on the same level now. Rich people, poor people, we are on the same level in Grenada. Everybody playing mask. You have big van, you don't have your own mask in Grenada now. Eh? All you have to stop this thing and be thankful. You thank God that is home. Thank God. You thank Almighty God. You thank your neighbor. When they give you a hand of blow, when they give you a bread food, you say thank you. Have a blessed day, Grenada. Mr. Watts, good morning. Good bye-bye and Patty and everybody.
All right,
Have
Miss
a good
Cammy.
day. I'm listening.
Yeah, guys, gratitude is a must. And I'll refer to a post that I made on social media. I read it yesterday, and I'm going to read it again because it holds so much weight in this situation. Because sometimes we don't know the hard work somebody put into something. And maybe it's not what we're accustomed to. Maybe it's not what we want for ourselves. But there's always a right way to approach things. We must always remember our humble beginnings. So the post reads, what you want for your life and what you have access to in life are very different things. However, you can use what you have and turn it into what you want. Don't allow the blessings and opportunities that you were granted become the basis of your thinking. Let your humble beginning guide you, and let your achievements motivate you. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter. I don't want to rehash it, It's too much. It's too much. What I do want to talk about this morning, though, and I can't let it pass because my friend and I had a heated conversation about this yesterday, and I think it's fitting for us to discuss. And I know a lot of people listening are very in tune to agriculture. Now, everybody's talking about agriculture, and I do have an interview scheduled with the Minister of Agriculture next Tuesday. And we will be talking more on agriculture. But let me give you my 2 cents, and feel free to call and give me yours. I believe that there is a lot of hypocrisy. And I'll be very frank about it. There is a lot of hypocrisy around the topic of agriculture. I hear every day, program after program, post after post, and all of that about agriculture. And the government not liking agriculture, and the government not contributing enough to agriculture. And I hear the cries of some of the people. But then I pass by the National Stadium, and I see the vendors and the farmers, well-stocked, array of colors with fruits and vegetables, and no lines. And then I pass by KFC, and I see long lines. And then I ask myself, are these not the same Grenadians who sit and complain that not enough is being done for agriculture? Are these not the same people who condemn the government because they feel that more can be done? And I'm not saying that people don't have a right to buy KFC and things. I mean, it's your money. You could spend it on what you want to eat. But the Bible says that sweet and salt cannot come out in the same mouth. So you cannot not support agriculture yourself and then still in the same breath say that enough is not being done. And I wish I could hear from some of the farmers and the vendors as it relates to the sale of their produce. Remember, the administration is only 15 people. They themselves cannot support agriculture, as you call it. So you want more to be done with the farmers, so farmers can produce more, right? Mass production. But mass production for who? If you yourself not buying what the farmers produce, if you are not eating what is grown for you, who are they mass producing for? That is what I want to know. And it is something that has burdened me because day after day, you hear people complaining and talking about agriculture. Well, the biggest talk on the market now is because Silver Sands is expanding their investment in building hotels and so on. Everybody vexed because they feel like the Prime Minister is more interested in hotels and investment in construction than he is in agriculture. But if they would only sit and they would only think about what they say before they say it, then they would realize that they are complaining, but the farmers are not. And the farmers are not complaining because the farmers are benefiting from these developments. There are multiple farmers on the island that produce solely for the purpose of selling to these hoteliers. Solely for the purpose of selling to these hoteliers. And I want somebody to dispute that with me, because I can name a few. You know, so we talk about things, we throw words into the atmosphere, we complain about things that we know nothing about, that we do not even care to know about, that we do not even contribute to, yet we complain. And we complain not because we care. We complain because we feel that if we complain, then people will feel that the government is inadequate or that the government isn't doing what they're supposed to do. And some people fall for that, Some people hear a lot of the opposition parties talk about agriculture, and they feel like they know what they're saying because they are activists for a political party, so they must know what they're saying. In some cases, that's not even true. How many of them support agriculture? How many of them get their family members to support agriculture? How many of them reach out to their support base and tell them, listen, if we want agriculture to thrive, we must support it? Instead of making them feel that it is government that is not doing enough, when really it is us that's not doing enough to support it. We are not doing enough. When I look at the lines for Real Value, and I look at the lines for Foodland, and I look at the lines at the pharmacies, and I look at the lines at KFC, it makes me wonder, what really are some of us clamoring about? We have our own farmers in our local villages, and we don't even support buying their produce. So we want more to be done for the farmers. They need to tell me what this more is. Because I can tell you now, and I want to pull it up here quickly, what government is now doing for farmers. Because as the Minister of Infrastructure mentioned this morning on a radio program, he said that we are expected to see an uptick in agricultural development. Now that can only happen in a crisis like this if Grenadians support Grenadians. And I want to repeat that. That can only happen if Grenadians support Grenadians. So the lines are forever long at the supermarket. The lines are forever long at KFC and these other food outlets. And that is fine. But what I don't ever see are long lines at our vendors. The same vendors that we say were suffering and they needed a day for people to shop and be able to buy their produce. Those are the same vendors that we opened our mouth and made noise about. How many of you that actually made the noise go out there week by week and buy what these vendors are selling or buy what the farmers are producing? How many do that? And that is an important question because there is a lot of talk about agriculture, a lot of baseless accusations just being thrown into the air. But the question that needs to be asked is, what are you doing to support agriculture? Tell me this. That's what I need to know. So farm roads, the Farm Road project, as the minister said this morning, 30 days, in about 30 days, we'll see the recommencement of that. One of the problems that farmers have been having is not that they don't have a lot of produce or that they're not able to supply the market. It's getting their produce out of their land. Some of them have acres and acres of land. If they don't have proper farm roads to drive their trucks and their vans and whatever it is down into their lands to get the produce, then it takes a lot out of them to carry it there. So we have to be very careful what we are asking for. Be very, very careful. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I think a lot of the problem is that the farmers need to come together, and that is the problem. They cannot come together because some of them, they're too greedy. They don't want to work with each other, and that is a major problem. If they come together, people talking about government, everything they want government to do. Why they don't? What are they? The people that are talking, what are they contributing towards the agricultural sector and towards the farming? And are they buying the produce? Are they, supporting farmers? I mean, people can't even get somebody to help them walk piece of land now. You're paying them and you still can't get because everybody feels walking the land is too hard. So government could do whatever they want. And if the people not willing to do the work and not willing what has to be done, have farmers organization and let them find, companies that would buy their produce outside. Agriculture and tourism have to go hand in hand because now that the hotels are closed, don't have the amount of capacity that they're supposed to have, some of the farmers are suffering because they sell directly to them. So people are talking about stop talking about tourism and concentrate on agriculture. How are you going to have more produce when you don't have the capacity for people to be eating it? The hotels are closed and so they must work together. They have to come together. You have to have, some kind of balance in between this. And the next thing is, they should tell those people that came up that they're not coming to a hotel with staff that want to clean and stuff for them. People could see that the place was clean. Maybe it wasn't clean directly before they came. There's some dust gathered. Even in your home, you sweep it every day, you have to sweep your house. If you don't sweep your house every day, dust gathering. So the people, they should be thankful and say, let's take a broom and let's take a rag and let's wipe down and let's dust the flies off the bed and clean up the place because the bed was well made, So people are too damn ungrateful. Anyway, bye. Thanks.
All right. Thank you for your contribution, caller. I want to read a circular here from the Ministry of Agriculture, and it reads, the Ministry of Agriculture and Lands, as part of the government economic stimulus package for the agriculture sector, is inviting applications for registered farmers for the 2020 Farm Labor Subsidy Program. The program has two components: rehabilitation of tree crops such as cocoa, nutmeg, soursop, and coconut, and establishment of root crops and staple crops such as vegetables, roots, and tubers. To maintain physical distancing protocol, interested farmers are asked to complete an online application form. Farmers without internet access are required to call the district extension officer for assistance to complete the application process. Application closes on the 31st of May, 2020. And yet they say enough is not being done in agriculture. I am getting the impression that they want to see, and this is my impression, that they want to see the 15 representatives with boots and fork in hand going and help the farmers plow land. That is how I'm starting to believe that they think. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Awesome. I'm taking it that the show is a bit delayed because the last call I heard was a lady. And you're coming in very low on my phone. So it's hard to hear your responses to me.
Yeah, but you can ask your question or make your contribution, and then you can listen via radio for the response.
Yeah, that'll be awesome. I actually heard you. So two things. If I'm not mistaken, Grenada is one of the few places, one of the few countries, islands in the Caribbean that actually has an agreement with America to send produce directly to her. Am I wrong?
No, you're not. You're correct, actually.
Okay, so the idea that we don't have markets for our produce is actually a misnomer. That's not actually true. We have lots of markets for our produce. I think we're not consistent in producing enough in a collective manner so that we can actually maximize what we produce. That's the first piece. I've heard this thing talking a while now that we don't have markets for our produce and the farmers are just planting for waste. Organizing, something she mentioned, organizing their efforts would be really, really essential right now, especially in terms of what's going on, to be able to export their produce. Since that we are one of the few countries in the Caribbean that can export to America, we should be taking advantage of that. Secondly, and more importantly, there's something I would like to address. The issue of the returning workers who complained that their conditions that they were put in were substandards for what they expected. And I must speak from experience. When Ivan happened, I was in Grenada. Mm-hmm. I was married to an American at the time, and America wanted their citizens home. So they offered us an emergency flight. Now, I thought the big America would be, everything would be free. We'd be traveling on the best flights. That was not the case. They charged us $4,000 US to leave this country, put us in Trinidad for a night where we had to figure out where to sleep. We were literally in Trinidad at 10 o'clock in the night looking for someplace to sleep in the hood. There was no luxury beds or nothing. We didn't get no dinner. We didn't get anybody pampering us. If I'm not mistaken, the video I looked at said that the Grenada government spent $9,000 per person for this. Now, if that's not luxury, I'm sorry. I would like my money back because I'm the taxpayer's money that you're spending to do that. Now, if you work on a cruise ship, I am pretty certain, I have never worked on a cruise ship, but from what I've heard, the conditions for the workers on a cruise ship are horrible. You're not the captain of the cruise ship, you're a crew member. So if these conditions are so substandard to you, do me a favor, go back where you came from, give me back my money, or stop complaining. We have $3 billion that we need to figure out how to pay. We have a pandemic right now that has the potential to ruin our economy for a long time to come. And you're complaining that the government spent $9,000 for you to stay in a room and it's not good enough? Well, excuse me, can I have my money back, please? And I would like it immediately. I am a taxpayer. Can you please address the situation? Because I don't want to be, too passionate about it.
Yeah.
But it has stirred me to the point where I actually want to put face to this and actually call people out on their nonsense. Mm-hmm. We got way too much important things to be spending money on, like ventilators,
yep,
like protective masks, like goggles, like gowns, like medicine in the hospital. For some people to be coming here talking about our government didn't spend enough on them to put them in a room and they spent $9,000 on them. That bothers me. It was nice talking with you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, caller, for that very passionate contribution. And I don't feel like I can add anything to that because, I mean, that's how some Grenadians felt. We'll be honest. A lot of us, even at the at the onset of this entire situation, that's how I felt. I felt as a taxpayer, not even... I mean, not even as this talk show host or as somebody who is representing the New National Party, nothing like that. As a Grenadian, as a taxpayer, that's how I really felt, honestly. And I felt like, listen, we got so much more going on. Just dust the bed off, pick the dust up, and go to sleep. You know, that's how I felt. I mean, you can't blame people for how they think they should be treated. Everybody has a standard in which they'd like to be held. But in all of this, all I'm saying is that gratitude must come first, and we have not yet seen that gratitude. And I think that's what got everybody even more upset about the issue, is that the gratitude didn't come before the complaining. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I'm calling from Carriacou.
Hi, Mr. Mills. How are you?
No problem. Could you tell me the COVID number, please? I'll listen up there.
Which number? Oh, no, Mr. Mills, you have to call back, because I didn't hear what you're asking me there. So you have to call back. But a lot of people feel passionately about this situation because we all know where we come from. We all want to be held at a high standard, but sometimes we got to work with what we're provided with given the circumstances, and that's really just it. So we got to do better. On the topic of farming, yes, caller, you hit the nail on the head. You and the caller before. Collaboration is needed, and I keep preaching collaboration in all sectors is needed in order for it to develop. So you have farmers, everybody wants to work as an individual entity. Can you imagine what would happen if farmers came together and made a decision and worked as a team and worked as a group? What our agriculture sector would be like? Just think about that for a moment. We have a call on the line. Mr. Mills, good morning.
Good morning. I'm back here.
I didn't get your question.
So the city number is 44-something virus.
Oh, the number for okay, I'll give you the number, all right?
Thank you, Suri. Bye.
You're welcome. Yep. Them kayak and them preparing because some of them really not very happy that the boat to Carriacou is running again. But don't worry. The Ministry of Health got us. I have full confidence in them and in the fact that they are doing the best that they can. They are working hard, and we have to appreciate that. I always say it's very, very easy to complain. Words of complaint come out as easy as I don't even know. We complain too much. We complain too easily, and we find it very hard to say thank you. Very, very, very hard to say thank you. And it makes me wonder. I follow a lot of political activists on their Facebook page, to see where they're going, how their mind is going, and so on. And I really do not understand how your page could be filled with so much negativity towards government. And not one thing on it says thank you. You're still alive. You're safe. None of your family members have been affected. A lot of Grenadians have benefited. Not one thank you, but a stream of complaints and condemnations. I don't understand. Good morning, caller. Oh no, we seem to have lost that caller. I don't understand. I choose positivity always. Some people say, I choosing to be positive, but when you look at the things that they say, it's strictly negativity, and then I wonder if they even know or can identify with positivity anymore. So we have to know what we want as a people. Yes, collaboration is key. Collaboration is key. Come together as farmers. Come together. See what you guys can do to build the agriculture sector. At the end of the day, you are the ones benefiting, At the end of the day, as a personal farmer not employed by the government of Grenada, all of the money that you make, all of the profit that you make goes into your pockets. So you must build your craft. You must build your trade. You must grow your business and make it better. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Miss Duncan.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm doing extremely well.
That's great.
And the reason why I'm saying that, despite the fact that we are living in a state of emergency, and despite the fact we have a deadly virus that is roaming the world, killing people, especially our elderly, Blossom, I said, sorry, my God.
That's okay.
Well, yes, ladies on my mind. Yeah, Miss Duncan, I feel blessed to be living in an island whereby the authorities that have spearheaded the war on COVID-19 so far, they have won all the battles despite the fact that the war continues. So let me say this here. Miss Duncan, we have been fighting a war with COVID-19. We have won all the battles thus far, like I've said, but the war continues. There are many inconveniences in fighting a war. But we must remember, we did not initiate war. War was imposed upon us. And guys, let's fight it. Now is not the time for us to get complacent. And I understand all the inconveniences as we slowly open up that people is, having a problem with. But we must not forget why we are where we are today. And let us not take our successes thus far for granted.
Yeah.
Now, Miss Duncan, the seafarers, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to put it this way. The video that was posted by that young lady is a wake-up call for those of us that love to post. Remember, posting, it can make you and it can break you. It can take you up and it can sink you to the bottom. But let me say this. One of the reasons why people are so hard on this young lady is because the stories we was hearing was not good. We was of the opinion that you all guys was desperate to get home. We was telling the government to get you all home regardless of the cost. People was praying for you all. You all guys became a burden to your employer. Yes, a burden to your employer. Your employer dropped you off in Grenada 2 weeks earlier than it was scheduled with very little notice. And for you to complain about 2 flies and a little debris in an accommodation that is much better than what most of us live in, and one that we would glad to live in, it is a slap in the face that does not allow us to turn the other cheek. And Ms. Duncan, we must always bear in mind that this video that was posted is not representative of the many persons that return home, and we must always take that into consideration. I think the young lady make a very, very, very bad mistake, and that caused, and what will happen is that people will look at the accommodation that she complains about, and what they will do is to look at they will seek and find the accommodation that she has here, whether before she go or now that she return, and they will say, well, look at it, look at what you complain of. I'm just saying how far people would go. So the lady, she made a very bad mistake. Is not representative of the many that return, and I hope we look at it into that context. What the government have done so far is excellent. Look at some of the accommodation, my brothers and sisters, that these folks is getting in other countries. Look at the accommodation, and then you'll realize the accommodation that we complain about here is the kind of accommodation that the other returning seafarers in other parts of the Caribbean will more than gladly to accept.
Yeah.
Ms. Duncan, I trust you will have a pleasant day.
You as well, caller. Thank you so much for your contribution. Yep. Like I said, and I'll keep saying, gratitude must always come first. What you want for yourself and what is available to you, 2 different things. And when you're on the receiving end, always think about what that person had to sacrifice to give you what you now have, even if it isn't up to your standard. the standard that you are accustomed to, the standard that you have set for yourself. Just think about that. And when I look at the video, all I can think about are the people who wish they had that sort of accommodation, regardless of the condition. Are the people who wish they had a burger to eat that night. These are the things that I think about when I look at that video. These are the things that sadden me. That we go so far to be ungrateful without thinking of the situation that we are coming into. That's all that I can say about that. I mean, it's a very hurtful thing to a lot of Grenadians. Still can't get over it, and maybe won't get over it for a very long time. It also puts into light all of the individuals that are scheduled to come again, all of the individuals who came on that same boat. Everybody right now is in the limelight for one person's bad decision. Was that even taken into consideration? We have to think about these things sometimes. But I believe in Grenada we need a complete mindset change. In a lot of things, in a lot of areas, our mindset needs to change. And it goes back to a thought and a conversation that I had, I believe it was right here with Mr. Bola a few months ago, regarding what we want as a people, what we are willing to do as a people, and what we expect. So you expect agriculture to be developed. You expect more to happen in agriculture. And I'll stick a pin in that point because it's a very important point and take this call. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Miss Duncan and Grenada, Carriacou, PD Martinique, and the world beyond. Listen, Miss Duncan, we must pay mind about this, right? We must be concerned about this. But something that I want to say, despite of the political campaign and of negativism and the parade for, the centuristic aspect of mankind, building the political career on despite and vindication and so forth, we must be thankful to our cabinet, our government and the cabinet of Grenada for being so disciplined. And the only reason why that even though we are in this COVID crisis, government is able to pay salaries effectively, not one aspect of the forces of labor forces here in Grenada who works with the government can ever say that they haven't received salaries. And guess what? And that is because of our government's fiscal discipline. You know that even the IMF and other donating institutions, people who donate money, gives grants to countries, third world countries as ours. And the only reason why we are successful is because of our government's discipline. That team that we have, that team, is God sent, and I'm thankful for that team that we have, the team that of the leadership of Dr. The Right Honorable Kit Mitchell and the entire cabinet. I'm so thankful. And, we have to maintain our discipline as nationals. We have to be conscious. We have to be watchful, and we have to be caring, and we have to look out for our people, our senior citizens especially. I thank you. Much could have been said, but because I want to give somebody else a chance. But hats off to the government of Grenada. Glory be to God. And I trust that we continue on that path later. God bless.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. And these are the things that we want to hear sometimes. You don't have to call all the time and say, or you don't have to post on social media all of the time to say thank you. But sometimes a little gratitude is good, A little gratitude is good. In that light, I have a voice note here sent to me by one of the 19 persons who came in on the cruise ship on Saturday. And she would like to extend her thank you. So I'm just going to play that quickly for all to hear.
Okay, so I just want to clarify a few little bits and pieces from the 19 of us that came on Caribbean Princess on Saturday. This is just a message of gratitude and appreciation to the government of Grenada for actually getting us back on land, back to our native homes. Yes, we are in quarantine still, but it's a great sense of relief and satisfaction that we are here. We are able to breathe in fresh air. We are able to breathe in a little sea breeze. We are able to get a little sunlight. Okay, so on the matter of the video that went viral, on the matter of the fact that the whole of the population of Grenada bashed all 19 of us, I just want to clarify, I just want to rectify a few little things pertaining to that. The authorities were contacted by a minority of us. Let me repeat. The authorities were contacted by a minority of us. So the 19 of us came here, we arrived, we settled in, and everybody shared the same sentiment, everybody echoed the same sentiment, but not everyone did the right thing. Not everyone consulted, not everyone contacted the authorities at that point. Afterwards, we did it, right? We didn't know about no video being posted. That's the minority. So the majority of the persons would have did a video. There is a small portion of us here who would have contacted the authorities and they looked into it. So let me clarify this. The authorities came and they looked into the matter. My issue was, on my arrival, the building just needed a little housekeeping attendance. To me, I didn't really care if we had an AC. I didn't care if we had no shower curtain. I didn't care if we didn't have a mat. But just given the fact that we were given a building to be housed in for quarantine, I am grateful and thankful for that. Right? I don't know if the other persons will see it fit to do a thank you or an acknowledgement, but I see the need to say thank you. I see the need to say thank you to the government of Grenada, the people of Grenada, for that acceptance, because it wasn't in their duty to accept us. But I understand that the government didn't have a right to say no, right? So I just want to say thank you on behalf of myself and the minority of us. Thank you to the Grenadian public. Thank you to the government of Grenada for accepting us at this last minute notice. It was challenging, it was difficult. The communication was back and forth, the negotiation was back and forth, but at the end of the day, it boils back down to how each and one of us dealt with the situation on arrival. I probably could handle things differently. The other persons that probably did the video could have handled it another way. But at the end of the day, the damage was done. The bashing started. We accepted. We accepted that it was wrong, but I just want to come out plain, simple, and say thank you. Thank you to the both ministers, thank you to the health officials, thank you everybody for just accepting us. And I do hope that this apology can represent a large margin of the 19 of us here, right? So this is just my 2 pence on everything, and I do hope that this can curve most of the disbeliefs and most of the discomforting feelings that persons will have, right? So from the bottom of my heart, I come to you to represent the minority to say thanks, and we are ready to receive anything, everything. Thank you.
All right, and that was one of the young ladies who came in with the 19. Of course, it's always good when we hear words, and that's as simple as it needed to be. Thank you. And as she said, they too experienced some housekeeping matters that they hoped would have been addressed and was addressed, you know, but it went through the right channel. Use the channels available to you to make your voices heard. When you go on social media, when you put things in the social atmosphere, you're basically setting yourself up for anything to happen, because you are giving people an opportunity to air their emotions, air their concerns, you know, and you can't blame them because you put that out there for them to see. If you didn't want their opinions, if you didn't want their comments, then you don't post it, right? I tell people that all of the time. I will post anything under my page, and any of my followers are free. Any of my friends on social media free to comment respectfully. And we can agree to disagree. We can go back and forth respectfully. But that does not change the fact that you're free to comment, because I put it out there. You put something out there, you put something on a public domain, you expect to get responses. You can't put up something and say, well, on my page, I just putting up what I want and nobody can say nothing. You can't do that. It's called social media. It's meant for interaction. So you put something up and somebody posts under it and you want to vex. You can't vex. You could delete it. That's as far as you can go. But when you put something out there, it's because you want the public to know. Put it on our public domain, it's for the public to know. Use the correct channels that are afforded to you so that you can make your voices heard, so that you can get results in the best possible way. All of this could have been avoided if it was dealt with appropriately. We have to take responsibilities for our actions. Mistakes will be made. We are all human. That's part of life. Learning from our mistakes and growing from our mistakes and maturing through our mistakes. These are the things that make us different. So please, I think we've delved enough into this whole issue. It's been how many days since they've been here? And we've spoken about it. I agree people are upset. They still deserve a right to be upset, because we all know of somebody who would need whatever it is that they were granted, would need it too. You know, and $200,000 being spent, it's a lot of money, you know, to be ungrateful about. But I think they get the point. I think they get the point. And we can move on from here and hope that good sense will prevail. Not just in them, but in everyone. Let's think about others. Let's think about people. You know, because it's a person that prepared that meal. The people that are cleaning the rooms, people too. 15 representatives, they're people. Public servants, definitely people. It's people we're dealing with. To err is human. It's how we choose to deal with these situations that make us all different. And that's all I need to say about that. So we can take a few more calls. The number to call is 440-7377 for local calls and 440-7377 if you're on WhatsApp and you want to send a contribution. Additionally, if you are in the diaspora and you want to make a contribution to the conversation, you can call 347-329-3101. Let me just look here at my comments in WhatsApp. This individual is saying, good morning. I'm not a farmer, neither a part of the agricultural sector. I think the biggest problem is lots of local farmers are not legal farmers. By that I mean many times people are selling the produce of thieves. Agriculture is a sector that should never be neglected by anyone. The young, the old, the rich, the poor. Many times people are we all have to eat to survive, and most important, to fight this pandemic. We have a caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Miss Duncan.
Good morning.
I would like to know why you had to trick my...
Hello? Hello, caller.
You away from your initial topic. Well, first of all, I saw a video. I saw it this morning. It was done by a gentleman who actually said thanks to the government of Grenada, and I think that was very good. I mean, I've not heard it from most persons, but just this one person saying thanks and how grateful he is. I think that was a good thing. Although I'm still waiting for the young lady to say thanks that she is back home. Most likely the airport might be open in June. I'm not sure about here because we only have internal flights, so maybe I might have to swim down. I don't know. But yes, but that's it. Another thing is, which is important to me, not shift it. I don't want to focus on that much, but I'm troubled when it comes to this incident that we had with the person who would have damaged the cooperative bank teller machine. What troubles me is that based on what I have heard, that the police only charged that individual for damage of property, of the property. And the time when it happened, it would have been in curfew period. And I want to know why they did not charge him also for breaking the curfew period. But that, as I said, that's another topic. I know that they're listening, so maybe they would explain to us at some other time why they did not give him that extra charge, which I think is justified. But glad to know that people are coming home. I was looking up to this morning actually, and the folks from who's on the cruise ship from Trinidad is not even sure if they're going to get landing rights. And the government went out of their way. As we know, it's basically a last minute thing that happened, and I think people should be grateful. Those of us who are grateful, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing. So, and to the minister, I would like to say hello to her, especially my special minister, Kendra Matthew. So have a good day.
All right, you too. Thank you so much for your call. And we have we had another caller on the line. So for the caller who was calling on the local line, you can go ahead and call and make that contribution once again. Mr. Mills, I didn't forget you. The number to call for the health hotline, the COVID hotline, is 438-4787 or 458-4787. All right, Mr. Mills, and I'll repeat it a little further down in the program as well, closer to the end, so you can hear it again, all right, in case you missed it. Guys, we are slowly coming to a close. Of course, I want to encourage the construction sector, those contractors who are going into the construction, bringing their workers back on the job, to please. And I'm begging, not just for me, but for every other Grenadian who wants to see us move into a sense of normalcy once again, just follow the guidelines. Ensure that your workers are adorned with masks that they can either create themselves or purchase. Ensure that you don't have a large team working, everybody clustered up at the same time. Sit and figure out a way that you're going to be able to work it, whether they work in shifts. We understand that it's not normal times, but at least they're making a little money. So whether they work in shifts, whatever method that can be used, please, let's try to use it. We want to see ourselves moving slowly into a sense of normalcy. But we are not going to be able to do that if everybody just does what they want because they feel that they have the right to do it. Let us follow the protocols. We're not supposed to be gathering. Let's not gather. Keep your physical distance 6 feet apart. Ensure that when you are leaving your homes, you are adorned with your masks. And if you don't have one, purchase one. If you cannot purchase one, create one. I've seen a lot of creativity as it relates to masks in this time. Some a little bit more creative than others, but of course, use your creativity or ask somebody, if they could sponsor you a mask or if they could make one for you, if you provide the material. We have to find a way to get through this together. I know the topic on everybody's lips right now is the reopening of the borders, which is suspected to be June 1st. However, we have to remember that the Prime Minister said that's the time they're looking at. That is not set in stone. Please remember that the policies that have been developed, or I shouldn't say policies, that have been developed now are not set in stone unless written in law. So please, if they say June the 1st, they expect to open the borders, and there is an outbreak in the Caribbean, they are not going to open the borders. Let common sense prevail. Please. Let's not just go out there instilling fear into people. If you have a little bit of common sense that you're working with, share that with somebody else. You understand? If on June 1st, the region is still experiencing issues with COVID-19 that have been uncontrolled, there will not be a reopening of the borders. I'm quite sure everybody knows that. So for those of you out there making people feel like, oh, it's too soon to open the borders, what if? Exactly, what if? Nobody can see the future. Right now, most countries have it under control. We have it handled. We don't know what tomorrow is going to be like or what next week is going to be like. We can make projections. We can speculate. We can plan ahead. But those plans can change. Remember that. Remember that. So for those of you out there that turning this into a feeding frenzy, it's really not worth it, huh? It's really not worth it. And of course, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We have been hearing some very sad stories of suicides, attempted suicides, depression, abuse. It's a lot, and I'm hoping that maybe before the end of this week we can have a session with Dr. Panchu to speak more about mental health awareness. What are the signs? What to look for? How do we deal with people who are experiencing these difficult times? It might be important for us to listen. It might be important for us to share our views. Find someone to talk to if you need someone to talk to. We have another caller on the line. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, good morning, Duncan. How things?
Good, how are you?
Yeah. Yes, well, concerning the sheep, you have to show a little sympathy to him because So I'm saying first time they maybe face, I don't know if they're the first time some of them travel and see different things for the first time, and they stood in awe, are they amazed to see how the outside world look like, so to come back and adjust to the situation, they might find it kind of hard, because that's how maybe they live in luxury, and then they come back home. I don't know, but I've never been on ship yet, but I don't know, because a guy who's on ship tell me that way that they end up one kind of, the kind of place they give on the ship is the worst of the ships, but I don't know what they see, and they come and they realize they want to come back and live the same luxury, but I don't know how come they get to go and work on ship. I don't know, but they must always remember where they come from first. Therefore, see, but among everybody in the shelter society, you find Malay people. So I don't really say among every community, you must have somebody like a Malay. And it's just what the human look at somebody like a Malay. So you have to explain, but we cannot blame everyone for the same thing. I listen to that when I play keep it LNG, and so check, and he was in the same. He come from the same ship, and and he had a different perspective of entering back in the homeland. But some people mustn't be so ungrateful. You must thank, as I say, for small mercy. You have to thank God for small mercy. Yeah. You back home and pray. I see people come back at home and they kiss the ground already. Yeah. You're so happy to reach back home. Okay, I remember Dominic Paul. I work with everybody doing the bill and the car energy. And that man say, he say, it's okay if you have to plant peas. He come back in green and accident, sure will make it there. So he see some people make up their mind, no matter what they live, they come back and they adjust to the situation. So I think we can't forgive him. Maybe she might come forward on there and say, well, look, she was kind of a bit excited, you know what I mean? But we have to forgive her. Take care. Yeah, man.
All right. Thank you for your contribution, caller. Well, wisdom must be used, but I continue to say gratitude first. All right. Guys, we are winding down. We're going to take about 2 more calls. The number to call is 440-7377. If you are calling locally, if you're in the diaspora and you want to give us a call, the number to call is 347-329-3101. I'm just checking my WhatsApp here to make sure I don't miss anybody's contribution. I don't want to miss anybody or anything that anybody has to say. But of course, we value all contributions as long as they are given respectively. I have no problems in receiving contributions from our listeners. So feel free to call, speak to us, let us know what you're thinking. You never know, one day your suggestion might just be the suggestion. You never know. And remember, collaboration, guys. Collaboration in everything. There are cooperatives available for farmers to form. Form a cooperative. Come together, 5 of you, and decide what you're going to do. And let's change the agriculture sector from within. Everything is not government. Every problem you hear, government. Every issue, government. Just now we're going to start blaming government for what happens in our personal lives, if we're not careful. So we have to be careful in what we say, in the blame that we cast, and make sure that when you're pointing a finger, my dear, there are 3 more pointing right back at you. Let me just take this call. Good morning, Mr. Mills.
My dear friend, you say you would call out the number again, please?
Yes, of course. Mr. I would never forget you. I'll call it out.
All right, thank you.
All right. And we have our last caller on the line for the morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning. Caller from Canada.
Hi, good morning.
Just looking at you there, I'm just so disappointed,
Why? Why are you disappointed?
That girl on the cruise ship. Yeah, it's very sad. But the only thing I see, people cannot give what they don't have. She probably has a cultural shock. I don't know. Very, very sad to see what happened.
We were all very disappointed, but we'll get over it.
Yeah, man.
We're Grenadians. We persevere through anything.
Looking at you every day.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right.
All right. And for Mr. Mills and everybody else that is listening, the number to call if you are experiencing any symptoms of the virus, if you feel like you have been exposed to someone who has the virus, then the number to call is 538-4787 or 458-4787. Remember, as you go back to work, ensure that you are wearing your mask, ensure that you are sanitizing your hands. And for the business owners, in the event that you have somebody in your establishment suspected of having the virus or have symptoms of the virus, remember to isolate that person from others, provide a mask or face covering, which they should already be wearing, to be honest. Make the call, clean the area that the person was working, all right? And identify persons in the workplace that were in close contact with that individual. All of these things, once we follow all of the protocols, physical distancing, wearing our masks, ensuring that we sanitize, calling the hotline if we feel like we've been exposed to the virus or if we show symptoms of the virus or symptoms consistent with the virus, and call the hotline. Once we do these things, we will be in a very good place. We're in a good place now, but we want to be in an even better place tomorrow. All right, guys? But as I always say, in whatever you say and whatever you do, be safe and be secure. I always want to be talking with you and never about you. Please do enjoy the remainder of your day.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
I think you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the door shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected.
Land acquired at Port Louis and Mount Cinnamon for construction of first-class luxury hotel and eco-spa resort project. We'll have details to this story and more in the National Report. With the details to the news for Tuesday, May 12th, 2020, I am Rikisha St. Louis. The company that constructed the 5-star Silver Sands Resort in Grenada, JDC2, has purchased land at Port Louis to construct a first-class luxury hotel at Port Louis, together with other ancillary leisure, retail, and hospitality-related facilities. JDC2, whose main financier is Egyptian billionaire Najib Swariri, has also purchased surplus development land at Mount Cinnamon Resort to construct a 5-star eco-spa resort project at the Tufton Hall Plantation in the mountains above Victoria. In his address to the nation on Sunday night, Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell said the acquisition is an investment of more than $350 million.
We are also buoyed by the fact that in the midst of this crisis, investor confidence remains high. The recent acquisition this week of Port Louis and Mount Cinnamon, with plans to add over 500 hotel rooms in an investment worth over $350 million US, speaks volumes for the recovery potential of our economy. It is important to note, sisters and brothers, that no concessions will be given until the developer is ready to begin construction of the 4 hotels.
A joint press release from Port Louis Land Limited and Spice Land Limited states that Peter de Savary, having created the successful Mount Cinnamon Resort Hotel, which is highly rated internationally, will continue his involvement with the resort, which employs about 100 people. The statement adds, and I quote, "This will bring a new dimension to tourism in Grenada and in due course attract considerable international media interest whilst providing economic activity and many jobs in the northwest of the country." The land at Port Louis was purchased from Port Louis Land Limited and the land at Mount Cinnamon from Spice Land Limited, unquote. Grenada is in a good place to resume construction and other activities. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Francis Martin made the announcement on Tuesday during a press conference following Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell's pronouncement that the construction industry will resume this week. Dr. Martin says there is no need for fear, but instead heightened responsibility. He is confident, based on test results and other surveys being conducted, that Grenada is at the tail end of the COVID response. He added that the onus is on every construction worker and supervisor to play their role in ensuring the protocols and regulations are adhered to.
So far, from our epidemiological standpoint and from looking at our COVID response and also looking at the results that we've had, I am satisfied that we are at the tail end of the current COVID response in terms of infections. And because of this, I feel confident that we are in a good place to resume construction and other forms of work. It is important, however, from a ministry and a health standpoint to reiterate the cause of the transmission of COVID. The transmission of COVID has nothing to do with people being in each other's presence. The transmission of COVID has nothing to do with whether or not you open construction sites or no. It has to do with persons' personal behaviors as it relates to the COVID.
Member of the COVID-19 Construction Task Force, Mrs. Marina Jessamy, outlined the projects that meet the requirement for resumption. Mrs. Jessamy, who is also the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Infrastructure Development, explained that projects that have not been approved by the Physical Planning Unit will not be allowed to resume construction.
We have ongoing projects, contractors who were already on site while COVID-19 happened and they were closed. So once they have planning approval, they can resume. Excavation works can continue. Interior finishing works, you might have a home renovation, a kitchen, a yard, a bathroom, these could continue. Special projects, small house renovations, and small building projects. All these type of projects can continue to apply to the ministry. And we don't have actually a cutoff point. We anticipate that maybe within a month we might have all applications, but at that time we are working together with the physical planning unit as well, so projects without planning approval cannot recommence.
This is the National Report. We'll have more news after the break.
Distance makes the difference. Keeping the nation positive, we can do this together by uniting apart, reaching out to you at home and in the diaspora every Wednesday night from 8 to 10 right here on GIS. Join me. If we hold on together, our dreams will never die. Be a part of flattening the fear curve and replacing it with hope and positivity, sharing the stories and the expectation of a brighter tomorrow. We can beat this virus. Remember, we are in this together. Distance makes the difference. DMD, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. here on GIS. Sharing is caring.
Welcome back. The government of Grenada is making it possible for more small businesses to cushion the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. In March, government promised to provide additional funding to the soft lending facility at the Grenada Development Bank, GDB, as part of the COVID-19 economic stimulus package announced by Prime Minister and Minister for Finance, Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. In his national address on Sunday night, Dr. Mitchell confirmed that the additional funding has been made available and can now be accessed. The Small Business Development Fund, which is directly responsible for this soft loan facility, has already received multiple queries and several completed applications. Between March and April, more than $200,000 was disbursed through this facility. In his address, the Prime Minister also disclosed that the maximum threshold available under the fund has been increased to $40,000. Previously, the maximum amount accessible was $25,000. Additionally, the threshold for unsecured loans is now $10,000, up from $7,000. Businesses in the agro-processing, agriculture, and fisheries sectors are also being offered a discounted interest rate of 3% to help promote development and expansion in these sectors. The fund is also providing relief for small business owners who have existing loans with the approval of a moratorium on these loans for 3 months in the first instance. Continuing with the news, Grenada and the rest of the world on Tuesday commemorated International Nurses Day under the theme Nurses, a Voice to Lead, Nursing the World to Health. International Nurses Day is observed to focus on the importance of nurses and recognize their efforts, even more so as the country continues to battle against COVID-19. In an address to mark the day, Governor General Dame Cecile Lagrenade spoke to the importance of these healthcare professionals. She's hopeful that more investments will be made in the healthcare sector.
The theme for 2020, Nurses, a Voice to Lead, Nursing the World to Health, underscores the central role played by nurses in addressing a wide range of health challenges and highlights the dynamic nature of the nursing profession. The theme was chosen not only to pay tribute to nurses, but also to encourage the general public to celebrate the largest group of healthcare professionals who perform the indispensable and multifunctional roles of holistic caregiver, communicator, counselor, client advocate, collaborator, manager, and leader. The COVID-19 experience has taught us many important lessons. Above all, the value of life over possessions and the need to follow the example set by the nurses of the world and demonstrate compassion for and dedication to each other. It is my fervent hope that governments around the world heed the call of the World Health Organization and the International Council of Nurses for greater investment in every aspect of the nursing profession, which will be critical to achieving universal health coverage one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
Honorable Nicholas Steele, Minister for Health and Social Security, and Chief Nursing Officer Nestor Edwards commended nurses for their efforts over the years. They both agreed that these efforts should never go unnoticed.
Someone once said that the care and compassion of nurses are more effective and valuable than the medication prescribed by physicians. Today, I wish to salute that particular group of unsung heroes of the healthcare industry who work in the trenches daily to ensure that we are all protected. To our nurses, yours is a calling that you exercise with true sacrifice, grit, and compassion. And every one of us has been touched by it in one way or another throughout our lives, maybe never more than now.
Our nurses here in Grenada have demonstrated true leadership in the fight against the coronavirus on our shows, and for this, they must be commended. They have led multidisciplinary teams in conducting surveillance, screening, case identification, care and treatment, follow-up and contact tracing. They are unsung heroes in responding to the healthcare needs of the population. I am pleased to announce that to date, no healthcare worker in Grenada has contracted the virus.
That story just ended the national report for today, Tuesday, May 12th. Let's recap the top story. Land acquired at Port Louis and Mount Cinnamon for construction of first-class luxury hotel and eco-spa resort project. On behalf of the entire news team here at the Government Information Service, I am Rakisha St. Louis saying thank you for joining us. Until next time.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new National Party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.